Welcome back to the Evansville Otters pregame show. I'm Mike Radomski. It's time now for the manager's report, as we're joined here by the Otters skipper Andy McCauley. And Andy, let's start off with last night's game, an impressive 5-0 win for your team. What are your observations?
No, I mean, Chris Peters threw a great game. He's been struggling to get over that hump. We made some adjustments. He's been very receptive to him. He threw the ball very well, kept him off balance. I think we can get his pitch count even lower and get him deeper into a game, but he was pretty dominant. 2-hit shutout through 7, and then or through 6, and then the bullpen really did its job again. Hats off to those guys. Renicky threw a great inning, Kreider threw a great inning, and then Simon finished it up for us. But 2-0. Really, the credit goes to Peters keeping us in that game against a very offensive team, letting us eke out a couple of runs to take the lead and take some pressure off. We could do some things offensively, and then it's just a big knock by Nick D'Amico that really opened the doors, gave us that 3-run. We turned it into a 5-run cushion, and that's the story of the game right there. But really, my hat's off to the starting pitcher Peters and the bullpen.
Before the series started, you called it a great statement series. When you look back now, what statement did your team say?
I think more of a statement to ourselves. I mean, that we are capable of playing with any team in this league. And I think confidence was a thing that I noticed was lacking from the minute I got here. There's some guys that can play on this team. We just were down in the dumps and a little bit frustrated and disheveled with how the outcomes have been coming. I think they just needed a little redirection and maybe some adjustments. And, my coaching staff has done a great job working with guys. And give the guys credit. They put the time in and made some adjustments. The pitching staff's been lights out, and now we're starting to come around a little bit with the bats.
Your bullpen comes in, Eduardo Perez with men on gets back-to-back strikeouts. Total no hits from your relievers. What has your bullpen been like this season?
It's been fun. I mean, they've done a great job. They've really stepped up since I've got here, and I think more importantly, they kind of understand what role they're in and when they're going to be pitching, which I think is more important than anything. Just so they know when they should be going, and they can start getting their mindset, as that situation nears in a game. And Renicky's a pro, Simon's a pro, and we had some guys step up professionally, Kreider and Perez last night, that they got in that situation. They made the most of it. So, knowing the roles and knowing, it's short instances and we're not going to leave you out there for 2, 3, 4 innings. It's just, get your job done and get out of there. And a lot of times get out with confidence, builds for the next time out.
Andy McCauley joining us here on the Evansville Otters pregame show. How about Nick D'Amico? He comes through with 4 RBIs yesterday. How have you seen him grow since he came to the Otters?
He came in here, a little disgruntled, being released by the Padres, but he's just an athlete right now. He needs to grow and get a little stronger and learn the game a little bit more. But he has great approaches at the plate. He's a battler. He's got good tools. He can run. He's always a threat there, and just stayed inside a ball and took the ball where it was pitched. He did a great job.
And defense is so important in this game, as you mentioned before. What can you say about the middle of the defense for your team?
It's been solid, and that's what you need. You need to be strong. Billy Killian's a very good defensive catcher. The base runners out, not just base runners, but base. And up the middle, since we got Alvarado and Cole working together, they've been very good working together, turning double plays when we need them to be made. And then you can mix and match Jared Ball or D'Amico and center, very good defensive guys. So we're strong up the middle. We just got to get a little more situational hitting from our corner guys, and we'll be closer than we are right now. But Greg Alexander made a couple great running catches the last couple games. He made another one last night, going back on a ball down the line, and really made a great running catch on that, which really let the sails out of their ship when Metropolis hit that ball down the line.
Andy McCauley joining us here on the manager's report. The team made a few changes before they started this 9-game road trip. They made a trade with Florence. You also bring in Vinny Avella. Tell us about some of those moves.
Well, the first one, Pat Rose was just going to be a utility player. It's not fair to him to be sitting on the bench. Kolb came in and just took his job, basically. He's a rookie kid. He's a younger kid playing for very little money, and he's somebody that you can look forward to in the future. If not, getting better throughout this season, but really have high hopes for seasons down the line. So it wasn't fair to him to be sitting on the bench with the experience he had. Florence had some injuries when we were there that they need to address, so it was a perfect fit for that one. And Brandon Cohen, also their first baseman, broke his wrist when we were there, and it's going to be an opportunity for him to play every day. He was mixing off with Vinny, DH, and they were playing first base with Wiley, and he wasn't going to get the at-bats either, so it's a good move for him, and he was really struggling with those. I think a change of scenery is going to do him some good, but we picked up a pretty good pitcher we've seen twice, Auspis, and then we also picked up a reliever, Gonal, who will be joining us here shortly, but not here yet with this crew, so we'll see how it pans out. I think it's a good trade for both teams, but you never know till it's all said and done.
And quickly, Nick Sutton back on the mound today. He struggled his last time out. What does he need to turn it back to his old form?
He was just having trouble throwing his breaking ball down in the zone or down or for a strike. He was leaving it up, wasn't getting the extension on it, and it was a tough start for him. But I mean, he's a smart kid, smart pitcher, smart kid. He's going to make the adjustments. I mean, he's got such a good breaking ball. He can get a lot of swings and misses when it is in the dirt, and then if he can drop it in there for a strike and just get him aware that he can throw it for a strike, that's his whole game. Not being able to throw the curveball for a strike. Really took that pitch out of his arsenal. He's left with a fastball and a changeup and still kept us in that game, even though it was 6 runs into it. But he didn't give up the ship. He battled through it and made his pitches, got us till we could turn it over to the bullpen with a chance to win.
Andy, thanks again for joining us. Best of luck tonight against the Gateway Grizzlies.
All right, you got it, Mike.
That was Andy McCauley, the manager for the Evansville Otters. Right back on the pregame show right after this.